Jeps, on our previous video, we promised our viewers ukuthi we will come back and do a new video regarding the other players. Are we doing the Senzo Meyiwa players or the Adult Comet? Because the previous video we did the players of the
Adult.
Adult. Yes. So on this one.
Yeah, let's look at the Senzo Meyiwa case. Yes.
At the Senzo Meyiwa case, you said we've got 3 players there. Judge Rata, the main character. We've got Baloyi, we've got Gininda. Why are you saying they are players?
Is because the case is around them. So in court, we're seeing that Urata is the one that's playing a referee. All the dirty tricks that we see in court, Rata is involved in it. When we see NPA, we see Baloyi. Baloyi should be NPA. Baloyi is prosecuting on behalf of us. You understand? As I said, so they meant to do prosecution without fear or favor, but in most of all, they need to be fair.
Okay.
Yes.
And then when it comes to Ubaloyi, when it comes to Ubaloyi, he's supposed to be supporting South Africans and doing things for South Africans. But as you are saying, we always find ourselves questioning him a lot when it comes to doing things fairly and following procedure as it should be. So where do you place him when it comes to that? And you are characterizing him as what?
Yes. So for him, he's I'm saying he's a all-round player. I always make mention of a volleyball position. We say there is a libero player. It's a player that doesn't say, but he rotates everywhere. He can be anywhere, basically.
Okay.
So now Baloyi, he does that. He's feeding the court information that is questionable, but then where did he guide? He also guide the police with he makes sure that the dodgy evidence makes its way to the court.
Okay. And then we've got the investigating officer, which is Brigadier Gininda. You are also characterizing Brigadier Gininda. Why are you doing that?
Yes. He's a lead investigator. He's the one that ought to have investigated this matter. He's the one that says, prima facie, I have found credible information that links these 5 accused. Not that they conspired, but it also links them to the crime scene that took place on 2014, October 26. Now, we will see, as we know, unpacking what sort of evidence. We see that evidence and the arrest is questionable. Nothing that is done by the police with relating to the Senzo Meyiwa case that is tick. It's above board.
Okay. I do remember some time back you did mention that you know these things because you've worked with these people at some point or this department. So your understanding is not only coming with you associating with checking the dark web and stuff like that, but you were also at some point part of that system. So you understood, and if you are not doing things according to what that system wants, many times we already seen there are people who are out there alone because they wanted to do right, of which I think it's one of the cries that you have. It's us letting go of our country, letting people. I think it's also Mkwanaz's cry. The reason he is doing all that he is doing, be it he is misinformed about certain issues that as we are watching and seeing things unfolding, we think Lanu Kechile. But do you think that Ugininda is one of those police officers that need to be looked into before we can actually say he is a corrupt cop, he is this cop and that cop? Do you think he's one of those cops that maybe some sort of an ad hoc committee will need to check him out, investigate the way he investigates his cases? If there is a need, is go to the people that the cases were done against and he was part of, check out if was there anything that went exactly the same way as the Senzo Meyiwa case is?
Yes. The good thing about me, Noni, is that I know people I catch a flag by people saying I don't use allegedly. Based on
Yes.
information that I've listened to the court proceedings and I heard the information that they said under oath, I can tell you what, based on
Mm-hmm.
what Kinida has said and the people that he has led to give them statement, I believe that it needs to be looked into. It needs to be investigated
Mm-hmm.
because the way that he has conducted himself around the matter of Senzomiwa case, the investigation itself, it leaves much to be desired. You cannot deal with two different things, but the script appears to be the same. Now, his involvement with being escorted by EMPD, you know what? He appears to be using the same narrative of the PKTT, but he's using it on a
Mm-hmm.
case unit. So, what people are actually not seeing when you listen to Mkwanas and you listen to how the investigation within the PKTT, like what Umam Harrison has explained in the Matlanga Commission, and when you hear
Yes.
Mkhwanazi and the multidisciplinary involved, you kind of like see Gininda in his cold case unit, a prosecutorial led guided investigation. Do you understand? And then
Yes.
you see that so because he has done that, the involvement of the laboratory division, like ballistic section, but now it's because now he's on the other side. He, I can tell you, the ballistic result that are involved in accused number three, I think that information is cooked. I don't think that information is authentic. I'm saying that I've been saying this thing, but the comment on Mkwanas when they said that the same forensic lab has come up with different
Mhm.
results than what they have in KZN. That's when I started believing that. But then also to also bear in mind that also during this time, 2016 till 2018, you have Colonel Prinsloo, who's been working on the same forensic lab where they've been editing, removing serial numbers, doing all the dodgy things within the forensic laboratories. Now, what also
Mm.
you see that there are also other men and women in blue that are willing to do anything that their bosses are saying. I'm talking about your Serreros. I'm talking about your all the four people that came to support Mangena's evidence, basically in terms of that they've signed
Mm.
off the report. Now, hence I'm saying that the way that Brigadier Kininda has conducted himself in the Senzomewa case during the investigation, it definitely needs to be looked at.
Okay. And then when we look at all three of them, Judge Rata, uh, prosecutor, senior prosecutor Baloyi, when then we're looking at Brigadier Bongan Gininda. And these people, they are not supposed to be people that they can work together, but not there's some level of boundaries that are supposed to be there. Do you think that there are boundaries between these people?
No, 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 there are
Mm.
no boundaries.
Mm.
Because
Because
there's certain conversations that take place in court that we can't help when you should think it looks like this thing is staged.
exactly. That's why I'm asking that question. It's because I think many times we've seen, especially when Brigadier Gininda is the one on the stand and Baloyi is also leading him, and the judge's behavior and how he, in fact, let me not even go very far, to show that something is not, there is a boundary that is crossed, that is not supposed to be crossed. Listen to what Judge Rata said about Moses' evidence. Moses says, I went with the police to KZN to and from, blah, 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 all of that. Then he comes and spins it around as if Gininda was doing Moses a favor for starters. Secondly, he changes what Moses said to what he wants the narrative to be. Not that he did not hear what Moses said, in my opinion. So that's why I'm having this view of something is not looking right in that situation of these characters.
Yeah. No, all right, I keep on hence I will agree that he is defending the state. I can say that his actions are tantamount to him colluding with the state because it's like ahead. He always try to guide the state in terms of it's like he's giving them hint that make a note of this point so that you can attack it this way. So that I can't stop it. And this thing of saying these people 16 hours they went back. Do you understand? That is like saying Baloyi, pay attention to that 16 hours. That is impossible that the person could not go to the toilet, that the person could not do this thing. So, therefore, you cannot entirely do that. Hence, he said the reason why he said this guy must not answer because he wants to be by line of questioning. How many times, Noni, have I said in the last 3 years that after the court proceeded, maybe Baloyi is completed. I says, no, Baloyi is not completed. You'll see tomorrow he's going to request the court to start back again. And that thing started happening. And we appear as if now we knew what was going to happen in court, but I was able to simulate and say, this is what we've been doing now. And so, therefore, this is what I'm also able to look and say, okay, Racha, this is what you're doing. I mean, it's just too much. It's just too much of a coincidence. I mean,
Yeah.
and then also how he also went on to protect Gininda about the studies. He was willing to.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's just crazy. How the timetable never made it in court of Gininda. How right, it's so easy to accept that Zungu why Zungu is expected to remember everything in detail, but on the accused person, he wants them to remember everything in detail.
I agree with that. And also, Zungu was also protected a lot by Judge Rata.
Yes.
Do you remember when he had a go down with Umshololo and Umshololo actually told him, you are always protecting the state witnesses?
Yes. That's that. And now, why I'm saying that Rata is also a player. Rata is playing double standard. Rata lectured us about that if you are a lawyer, the law says thou shalt not have double booking. Why are they allowing that to Mkhwanazi? So why are they allowing that to Umshololo? Umshololo is running another case on the side. Do you know why? Because the people who are presiding there, they hold the key to downfall of Gininda, downfall of Baloyi, and downfall of Rat. It's crime intelligence people. So now Mshololo is allowed to do double booking, but Rata himself was saying that no, lawyers, there was a big issue about Mnisi going to run a marathon. Now, because he's allowed that, that's why he tends to have some sort of super right to talk about another court. Hence, he throw that comment, oh, is he still busy with that other matter? So Mshololo being there, they make fun of death. And then not just death alone. What about it's a magistrate court there? If a high court judge is commenting on a case that is before a lower court, which is a magistrate, isn't he trying to influence the magistrate? Noni and your people, we're sitting down. Remember the word says, Sesitembelenin. Why Sesitembelenin is against Uhlope. But we cannot say now, if Uracha makes such comment in the podium, no, we must remember that a court is respected. If Rata makes any utterances at that position, that is why he was even said he can make a ruling. You can go there in that court when known. Urata can see you and for argument, and then a phone of a person sitting next to you, they can plant a phone in your bag, and then they call that number. And Urata will hear that phone and says, "Oh, is it you, Noni of Noni M podcast? You disrespecting my court, 3 months straight imprisonment." That's the power of that position. No? That's why
that is so sad.
Yes. That's why he was bullying Spear.
Because he did, even when he tried to fight back, he still shut him down.
Yes.
Anyway, Jax, we have 1 minute left. Yes. We have 1 minute left. You can say what you wanted to say in this 1 minute.
Yes. All I needed to say, Noni, to people that we are going to be unpacking in detail the evidence of the defense. But I'm saying now, this case now revolves around Advocate Maloy, Brigadier Ginit, and Judge Strata. They are the main actors, they are the ones that are deciding. Hence, they're going to do everything in their tricks in their book to disturb the defense case. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeps. I'll see you on our last recording.
Right.